For emergency use only. If there's an emergency, we stand up with it. Grab a life jacket. Overhead.
Okay, say hello.
Hello.
On the boat.
We also have
Daddy Romy.
a life ring at the front.
Laki ng mukha.
At the back, there's little. Do we have any out-of-town visitors?
No.
Cute duck.
Cute duck. Everyone's from Winnipeg. Started being able to see it about 3 days ago. A crazy season so far. The first 2 weeks we couldn't even go on the Manitoba River because we could not fit the boat under the main street bridge. Fourth largest in recorded history
Wow.
this year. Saskatchewan, about 1,000 kilometers away.
Saskatchewan.
We're close into the Red River behind us. We'll go there in a bit. We're going to try to bring it.
And the other ocean.
The oceans?
Meat.
The other lake.
Oh yeah.
Bibong.
Come on.
What?
Come on. Look at the carrot. Yeah. Get the ball. Give it to me.
And on the right-hand side of the bridge, I'm going to get it next to you here. On the right-hand side there's a blue, yellow, and red line on the concrete there. The blue line with the waves, that's the normal spring melt water level. That's where it rises to every spring. When all the snow and ice melts.
And
Stays
that's
until
where
early
the
to
flood.
mid-May every single year. This year, mid-June, it was underwater. You couldn't see the blue line at all. And the water reached just inches below the bottom of the yellow line this year. And if it hits the yellow line, we start worrying a little bit. We start filling up sandbags and preparing for potential disaster. Because up over the red line is up over the city of Winnipeg. Like in 1950, a flood that covered 1/3 of 1,000 people to evacuate. It cost $100 million in the 1950s dollars of damage. That's what inspired the massive Red River floodway construction. Duff Robin, the premier of Manitoba, fought very hard to build the floodway at a cost of another $100 million. So nobody wanted it. Everyone thought it was too expensive.
You will yell.
In 1919, made some huge amounts of Tyndall limestone. It's a limestone that formed on a massive glacier that covered most of what is now Manitoba many years ago, centuries ago, thousands of years ago. The fossils in the limestone throughout that building are about 450 million years old. Hundreds of millions of years ago. Trilobites.
That was
Nanobites. The golden boys at the top, shining ever so brightly because they redid them in the 90s. He was originally given the gold leaf in the 1950s. I grew up with a very tarnished and dull kind of greenish boy. I thought he was this big my whole life. Until they brought him down and put him on display. We learned he's 17.5 feet tall, almost 6 meters high. Bit of an illusion from down here, he looks this big. More important though, Louis Riel.
Tumaob, yung kaya? Sa forks.
About a kilometer away from the river. Beyond the Tower of Hope and the museum, all the way to basically where Shaw Park is, where the Gold Eyes play baseball. North American Railway Shipping Network in the early 1900s boom era. Those buildings are actually horse stables. There were 100 horses in each of those buildings. They had over 100 years to clean up the health inspectors, so don't worry about ordering your The Assiniboine getting pushed by the red, two different colors.
May picture kami si David.
And the meeting of these two rivers is basically what was used as the general meeting area for like all the different indigenous nations on the whole continent, going back thousands of years. There's the Odena Circle up there.
Yeah.
That was created from an archaeological dig that was old, and they found seashells indigenous to the Gulf of Mexico alongside seashells indigenous to the coastline of British Columbia, that kind of thing. And the oldest evidence going back 6,000 years, so for thousands of years. And all of the water from both rivers is going to go north. It's going to go through Lake Winnipeg, eventually drain out the Nelson River and move past the polar bears in northern Manitoba, out past the bays and the whole wide world from there. Give a half hour though, eh?
The human rights of the
granite and all the artwork that's running through, weaving through all the early cultural symbols of the Red River settlement. And these bridges were actually built after the 1997 flood of the century damaged the old Provencher steel lift bridge beyond repair. It's all bent out of shape when the flood. So even though the floodway protected the city and saved the city, there was still a lot of heavy damage. Another reason why they more than doubled the width of the Red River floodway.
Oh, that's why the
Along the tar up in the bell towers that used to stand on the left right way tall in the top. And those bell towers burned and they fell back into the roof, the whole roof caved in, and the big circle with the stained glass roofs, but now that's built. Everybody just walks in over the whole building.
St. Boniface Hospital, the oldest hospital in the West Canada.
Built in 1908 as well. And it was built to replace the wooden one from 1888 that brought the first train over the Assiniboine River up from Minnesota. And yeah, there was a bylaw that all bridges over navigable rivers in this area had to be lift bridges or turntable bridges to make way for big shipping boats, which was common on the Red River, not really the Assiniboine River, so they didn't really need lift bridges on this river. If you look in the upper right corner under the bridge, the gears look brand new to this day. Apparently they finished it in 1908. They lifted it once for public